Hello, my name is Emike Oyemade. Some time ago, a young woman called in for counseling because she believed that she was depressed. She was constantly sad about life generally, but she told me that she was unhappy because she felt she married the wrong man. She felt her marriage was a mistake. But when we started talking, I found out that when she just got married, her family gifted her a huge sum of money, and her husband mismanaged the money. She expected that her husband would use that money to start a small family business to improve their lifestyle, which was the reason she gave the husband the entire money. Sadly, 1 year after that, the husband mismanaged the money and they never really got anything tangible out of it. Although the husband apologized to her, but she told me that every time she thought about it, she thought about how their life would have improved if the husband had done it differently. Now, the truth is, if you're married, you would know by now that whether you like it or not, your partner is going to offend you, which is why I'll constantly say that marriage is not about how you feel, it's not about the love you feel inside, it's about commitment. Because the journey is not going to be always smooth. Your partner is going to offend you. You are also going to offend your partner. But if your partner has offended you in any way and the partner has asked you for forgiveness, but you constantly find yourself still thinking about what the person has done and you're offended at it, you need to ask God to help you through that phase. However, if you think your partner has done something and they are carrying on like they have not, you also need to ask God for the wisdom to confront your spouse for whatever feeling that you are having. The Bible tells us in Luke 17:3, Jesus was the one speaking. He says, if your brother sins, rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him. Now, when partners offend one another, sometimes they just begin to react instead of confronting the issue. If you react, the other partner may never know exactly what is going on with you. So when you fail to confront an issue in your marriage, what you're doing is you're just sweeping the dust under the carpet. One day, one partner is going to flare up. So if your partner offends you, you talk about it. Now, I know a couple of people who will say, well, when I talk about it, the issues will escalate. Isn't it better for the issues to escalate and then you deal with it than for you to sweep it under the carpet? Now, when you fail to deal with it, you are going to get hurt. Your partner is going to get hurt, the anger will remain, and that also becomes resentment. Because when you don't deal with it, you fail to give your partner the opportunity to apologize for what they have done, and that is what becomes bitterness and can affect the fabric of your marriage. You don't want to allow bitterness to remain in your heart. Instead, express it. Now, I'm sure you have seen some partners that snap at each other at the slightest offense. Most of the time, it's not what happened at that time they're reacting to. Sometimes it has to do with issues that they have piled up and they have moved on with because they did not deal with it. The truth is, whether you like it or not, your partner is going to offend you. And so you have to learn how to live forgiving one another. Nobody is perfect. So if you're expecting that your partner should be perfect, they're not going to be perfect because you're human. I know a lot of people who believe that when they have issues in marriage, they should walk away, take a break, separate. No partners, no marriage get better by separating from one another when there are issues. Issues are meant to be solved. These days, a lot of people get married expecting that the journey of marriage will be a smooth sail. My dear, it's not going to be a smooth sail. It's sometimes going to be really very tough, and the decision to remain married is going to be yours. I wonder what people think they are saying when they say for better, for worse. It didn't say for better, for better. That's not how marriage works. For better, for worse, it means when the going is good, you're there, and when the going is good, you are not there. Sadly, also, some partners, when they are offended, they want to pay back their partner in their own coin. It does no good offending your partner because you're offended. offending your partner because you were hurt. A lot of marriages today are broken, and children from broken homes are suffering because one person was too proud to make the apology. One person was too proud to say, okay, I'm wrong and I am sorry. The Bible tells us in Romans 12, verse 19, do not avenge yourself. Instead, leave room for wrath, for it is written, vengeance belongs to me. Your wife did something to you that you don't like, you're not happy about, and you want to pay her back in her own coin because you think that you want to teach her a lesson. Have you even reported the matter to God? Are you giving an allowance? I want you to understand there are no better partners anywhere. So let nobody deceive you that one person outside there is better than your partner. The responsibility to have a happy home is yours. It does not depend on your in-laws. It does not depend on your pastors. It does not depend on anyone. These days, a lot of people get married and they give excuses like, if my mother-in-law had done this, if my pastor has said this, maybe my home would have been better. It is your sole responsibility, you and your partner's responsibility, to have a happy home, to create a peaceful home, to create a kind of home that Jesus will happily dwell in. When you got married, it was just the two of you joined together, no third person. If you find out that someone is interfering in your marriage, it's because you allowed it. If you did not allow it, nobody is strong enough to come into your marriage to destroy the fabric of your relationship. Now, with the help of the Holy Spirit, the woman who came to me for counseling, she was lighter by the time she was leaving. She saw it differently. Well, my husband is not perfect. I can make room for him. I can forgive him. I can talk to him about it. We can still have the opportunity to still get the business. Now, when you come from that angle of making allowance for your partner, it's easy to forgive. You did not marry a perfect person, just like you. The fact that your spouse is the one who has offended you does not mean that you are also perfect. Some relationship, the person who talks the more cannot seem like they are the ones who are right. If you have a partner who is always forgiving, who always lets things go, doesn't mean that you're a perfect person. It just means that that person has chosen to be on the side of peace. You should do the same. I believe that God, who instituted marriage, is ever ready to help. So if you're going through a tough time in your marriage, the person to turn to, the place to turn to is to God and ask Him to help you. If you think that, well, I've married a very difficult spouse who don't know what I'm going through, how did you start? I'm sure when you started, you thought this was someone you couldn't live without. Now you're married and you're feeling like, how did I even get here? You can also ask the Holy Spirit for help, because the journey of marriage is deliberate. You have to deliberately work on it, and then you will see that God will help you. Till I come your way again with marriage talks, stay blessed.